if we attain Buddhahood in order to be of benefit to sentient beings, wouldn't we necessarily have to come back as a human form to optimally benefit them? And getting 심진을 팬다 정도 상계 고방 타브나라와 아니 지금 심 조던 제를 지금 때 약속이 미수불 때니 아니 지금 배고 말해 배서와 if you can Geshe-la, please say something about how the clear light and Buddhahood being reborn as human are related. Geshe-la ki ini karsure da vesetang sangyetang ani ji mi kyawa thobe jorwa temsu thamachi dewa pensu dewa kayo namasungdo. And now how is the clear light relates to the three kayas? Ani vesete rawa kusumla and pa kandris pada release chukore sungdo.
Jendi tuwa di jil pardo she jil linjam nung tingsara nyimdo pe shashu di linjam nyimdo tandi tao nge sang ne nyimdo.
Hopefully how to reborn as a human yet with the mind of a Buddha. The step involve how to okay, I think you'll answer the questions.
다 그래. What that is? That's all. 먼저 기승 대시에 막 기승 전하다. 먼저 미 상화기 치화기 발음다 대진이로라. 치리 곰자람 직 안에 또 동화권에 냠내시다 직시에라. 다 당연하도 개치슈지 가르스나. 다 단다 시갈로 다도 레베 미두들라. 다 수수이나리 다 동고 수수 삼바 콘도 나야게 콘도 말라니 소다 삼바 시와 소야라 배전치고 다 개좀 쉬우차고 그래서
So thus far we dealt with the topic of going through 8 dissolutions and outer inner signs and how to exploit clear light to understand its own its own emptiness. I also talked about how to prepare for the worst by way of 5 forces in daily life, so that it becomes a matter of a second nature to do it at death. Now the next thing I'd like to talk about is what we can do for the dying. That's for what I talked about, what we have to do for ourselves to prepare. Now, what can we do to help others? The most important thing is to ensure that the dying person is not provoked. He or she, they never get a chance to lose their temper. It is Nanga Chambu means critically, it's critical.
단다디 카제샤고라 카짐샤고라 카짐나라 월인지 럭도
will
카짐나라 카르샤고라나 아니 나고 총디르다 중나 카마제로시스 로 카시 갑자고라 카마제로시스 다 데스스랑어다 양에 나랑 드드시고라 아니 나고나네 타좀바다 예수부 팀마카나 아니 다 페노제 칼치기나 치스로 어디다 카세우 세부 나고나네 타템바 야면나 수불라 팀마카와 근데 된스난 아니 풍보디 가르소고이나 소셜 시스 테마쇼지게 녜스 풍보 가가샤로 시스 딕다딕 카세우 지tum나 원에 편다요.
Secondly, if you can state it categorically clear in your will that when you die, that you be not injected, with not given injections. Secondly, and to leave your body alone still until they see drops of blood on the below the nostrils, or until the body begins to issue foul odor.
다들 시베 찐으로 다시네 다치 시베 찐들라 그래요스나 체세네 시와와 체존네 시와 소남소네 시와 베나 체존네 시와도서 미카시 수굴라 내나지 제 매와 네 카가 매와 네 다 가시다 하드 말다 하드 민조든데 총도도 지지리도서 체존네 시베다 하드적이나 고견데 요로 레바도즈이나 요로 하시든데 나지 제 매와 네 로충주든데 녀선안에 야라메거든데 통로도 시르도도 체존에 시버에 예수고다 견데로.
So let me talk briefly about conditions contributing to death. People die due to depletion of longevity, given longevity, due to depletion of merit, and so on. So what that means is some people, I'm excluding heart attack, but in situations where people there are no health issues at all, known health issues, or no health issues. Even young people, they were healthy, but then they die at night. So such deaths are put down to death due to the running out of given lifespan from previous karma.
다드네 소남선이 시버도서 아니 가시 칼라사야 말아봐시 가시 차네시 가시 누가 도서 소남센 시버래 봐.
So death due to merit paucity is people who die from famine, cold, and so on.
다드네 겐 드미기 치겐 신다데 따답변다 다도서 다 용다로 다디 시긴로 데테레.
So of course there are other conditions, for example dabjun accidents and so on.
다드네 신이 다 당기게 가서 기생가서 샘 외세지와
No.
다 외세디 당일로 두슬람랑일라 마란조 전한조 데다 마기 냠네 진이데 뭔고 여러봐 다 디네가블라 오 디네가블라 아니 추구 람제 체제다 간도용기 다기에 나로 요나신 곰 아니 디네 바돌룽구 곰 겨워두고서 다 두서 디나라 대화여고 요베인산 대화들 따기따기 치제 아니 두스 곰샤기나다 저 지릉기 남고 냠네 저디 구슬람제 냠네들 봐 근데 저림라나 야 구슬람제 용거데 다디 수수베 뇽고스 용고 요베인산 당고 지름디 야보고 여러와다디 알아서 야 믹세게 원 톱니다 칸도용게 저 진이족일라 믹세게 삼다야 레스데
And now after death, faced with the clear light, what can you do with the clear light? If you are a practitioner of a tantra, many of you are, then you could do generation stage practice, whereby taking 3 kayas on the path. Now, when faced with a clear light, then consider that as death as clear light, death as resultant clear light on the path. And when that in relation to your sadhana, and then you could do taking bardo state as sambhogakaya, enjoyment form of enlightenment on the path. Next, taking ordinary rebirth as nimanakaya on the path. So if you practice your sadhana well every day or regularly, then you could take recourse to using them.
Tiga dezen susul gomde des captain ya goyorat. Kande ma työnji jigo ma doshi. Chiwa chiwa katu tik sha ane gom kising durimji do durimdi du endo che ane yang ya la je tu che. Anya pardo katu la yang lungul des nyamba ane nyamsha che je susu nga je la nga ja sung je des de tu ina. Ne bhaja sha ngora.
So I've also forgotten something. This is what generation stage practice gives helps you, how it helps you to transform the three, or even transform the three ordinary states. In the completion stage, although they are taking three kayas, but there it actually happens. Now, when you do your daily dharma, daily sadhana, on the in the context of taking ordinary death as a dharmakaya on the path, then have a do some short meaningful meditation that you are in that state.
Tabena tin ne gabla inare kadi nang zo cheju shi chang gore sra.
Yes.
나와 동바 녀고란시 아니 용자 대와 아니 ngaje 하고서 제주시 상어리 네 양시 상당 레스티 거들.
So whenever when you do dharmakaya, when you take death as a dharmakaya on the path, four things need to be present. Four things need to categorize it or define it, define the practice. And Nawa, Nyewa, Nyonga, and that these are appearance, ascertainment, appearance, ascertainment, experience, and then pride. So when you dwell in Dharmakaya, then what appears is a sheer vacuity of emptiness, vacuity of true existence, as well as those indicative thoughts. Just luminous, sheer, expansive vacuity. And then, means, what should you read that sheer vacuity to mean, to be? It shouldn't be thought of as nothing, as an expression of nothingness. Rather, as just mentioned before, you should ascertain, be certain that absence, that vacuity represents, or this vacuity is emptiness of inherent existence. Emptiness of inherent existence. And then experience. What kind of experience do you have? As you see expanse of vacuity and regard and understand that to be emptiness, expanse of emptiness of inherent existence, now feel that it gives you great bliss. The experience of this gives you great bliss. So the third one is Nyongche, means what is the experiential factor, great bliss. And then think to yourself, now I have achieved my future Dharmakaya right here, and have confidence of, have pride of being in Dharmakaya, or later on as the deity.
다 드네 다 파도 치외외세 드네 탐바다가 다 파도르고 드냐래.
So with the quiver of a amount of clear light, it is instant, simultaneously it is in the Bardo state, in the loss.
다 파도데라 중림 던더디 룽도 그 중림 던더 축스지가 나라 저거다. 조제 엄복군장 통매된 라라 파도그 류도와 두냐리 답대 세건 징이지나라 차단 인상아도 컴퓨터나라 미딘데 두비용 거다 대나시 두버 딱 한다.
No. So the bardo from clear light, it goes through reverse order, but very quickly, and immediately it will have a form, like in the computer. If you press a key, a figure appears and instantly. That kind of appearance.
제가 봐도디 답변은 겨워치면 밀에 겨워내지나 다들 계지시나 아니야고요. 이게 미지 임바시 다 미네 밀에 겨워지 야가디 천시송나 야거라.
So let's assume, let's be on the positive side and say that a human, a dead human, is going to be reborn a human again in the next life. So now, what kind of bardo state will they have?
봐도디게 류디 이글류래 이류 심글류로.
It has a body, it has a form, but not. It's called. It has mental form.
그 심카와 육세 lep세 텐서들라 주도고.
And wherever its mind is, that the body is there too.
이나 그 닥신다. 니네들 텐투고요 말에 도투고요. 텐마도고 텐마도자 도투고 말이로.
So unfortunately, despite its the velocity it has, it simply cannot conceive of going to Pure Land. And therefore, it gets stuck.
그때 ombu군산 통매된 미도드네 지사올라로 토고 말았어. 근데 칼라 가르스나 지사.
So, as a human bardo with a human form, with all the senses, with all sense bases, and then it lives off smell, fragrance of food. So it has a lifespan of 7 human days.
다디 바두네가라 다 파마세가로 수술레단 되어요. 파마 말아봐라 강에 쉬도 겨울에니 많다네로. 제가 파마 말하나 아니 양자 바돌라시 바돌라시 지금 둔다 둔지 둔데 십지 쉬고 니마 십지 쉬고디 아니 파마 말하나나 다 겨워지면 밀어지게나 미 파마세가로 수술레단 되어요. 니지 도그라. 아데 말아봐지 되나 아니 양자시 둔데 십지 쉬고 지라 양자 점블링 되라 미 말하나 아니 잠블링 신달라다 죽도고요. 잠블링 신달 죽도고다.
So about it being that the top priority is next rebirth, and therefore is frantically busy looking for our next life parents who have a karmic connection with one, and because there are so many of them. Many battles are jostling to find rebirth, to find connection with the parents of next lifetime. When they can't find it, they die a short battle death, where they will go through the process quickly, forward and reverse process quickly, and be born again in the battle, to repeat the process for the 2nd week, 3rd week, 4th week, 5th week. 6th week, 7th week. Most of the time, battles do find next rebirth within 7 weeks. Should then fail, then they will leave this world and go to another world system.
네 둔디 십시고지도 땅안도 당기 되어들이 낭박이 네 진주 분노지도 간대 지고를라지도 다 시타네 시장 안저게 디 칼라데고 다 나는 누저이나 매단 지금도 와가지고 이나 메세 수단에 다 지자로 하고 이미지 매고 말에 되게 쇼베 쇼자다 인공 칼라다 두즈 콜테션나 디 티지여로 와 그런 되게 포버디나라야 네 대샤기나 그 칼라라고요 빼야고요 때 진도 쉽시고 아니 딜라다 니만 먼저데 둔직 싱그레 로 낭바고 표도와 둔직 싱그도 둔직 당보 둔직 니와 둔직 숨바 둔직 십지 시구사과 신제 둔직 레레라 준비 빼슉 전부 체 그래 믹스 수수 레단 되어요 아니 라마 또고도 뭐든데라 그런 신이 수수 기타 지 빼샤다 두글로다 데 모덴식도 안 대표나 kon dewaji yoron dewa yunji ge melam jamna dealer pen to go dewa mena pira pen to go yomar cheda tangi dewa dizna dewa yore lama dang ani ji chabdien che ya da chue che ya da dinde chebi na dila shibu dila pen to go ko langa phamani ya da phama ya go dinde sa do ya da ani chue yu se lungbe gi dewa dinde la len do ya da dinde la ko langa la je gad ro chi do go yor da ro o dinde ge 다 낭베게 데 ngazo 다 pino chidandi dindes resro
So, as an answer, in part to the question, how is a Buddhist funeral service conducted for a lay person? So, let's say that a certain lay person has died, and then someone in the family has died. Then, from this course and information from that, it takes maximum 7 weeks. So, and the food they live on is smell. And in Tibetan society, they actually burn um, barley flour mixed with the butter and some item on charcoal, and the smell, gives a smoke. Since they are due to health for health safety reasons here. You may not have to do it. You may not do it, but you can still fill their bowl with the food, and the food gives off the fake fragrance in the steam and so on. Put it on the table where they normally sit, and uh, then they will get the food, and then you repeat the process for up to 49 days, because we have no way of knowing as to when they have found their rebirth, to be on the safe side and to help them, to feed our dead. Then that's done. And during 7 weeks, the relatives, they do a lot of services. For example, if the dead relative has some money in the bank and some items of clothing and possessions in good condition, then they are taken uh, to a guru, to a lama who is known to have a power, and then the material that belong to them is now connected with somebody with a power, and their prayer, as well as then the scriptures are read. Such things done by the living for the dead do guide the dead and make the effort to finding next rebirth easy.
다드네 당이 되어지라 바드네가 라마게 라과를 창제 네 야티도레 스코르점네 따딘조 스스 냠랭이야 나 지난 담에와지라 대화 면인지라 다 가고 쉬어지래로 대화 연에 스스 다지야 또과 통볼레스나나 아니 람 바도게 람랑원데 집에 내가라 아니 개베신이 다 롱구도도 다 가서 초구도도 제용으로
No.
그래서 뒤에 내가라 아니 야 맨나 조림 그 똑바로래 롱구게 야 똑바 가진 레네 아니 바도게 람군데 지야라 갱인 데도야라 아니 바도네가라 개베신이 된데 제제 두즈게 최송네 탑랑로고 지야 된데 용식을 미셔지게 먼저 담에버 타장라 다 나이는 디카보레 디케시 된데 유나 다자도 마셔제도 와도 제레시도 다 망보산지 디에 상면 바돌라 상마 티지 야 제사로
Lare.
닝지 첨부 요르 펜토 마토 군라 투지 첨부 니르기 조거를 그런 거스 펜토도 마토 요마 상마라 로고 찍버 찍장 치고요로 제가 만들 하대야 돼 가르서나 나란저게 배찍 립사 찍래 립투고 요마다 근데 대화제 소투고 요마로 대화지 요나 아니 야 람게 저 톰보로레나 아니 데네가라 제제 최송네 지야 된다 따데 be mixe risung re me shi ji yongda la padene ga la lama chi je ge je ti je ko re jab je ti de de dai pe je yo ma re sro ka bo re sro
That's an answer to another question as to whether a Bardo being can be guided or by a Llama, for example, or by another deity by hand, and then led to, let's say, higher realms or to the mansion of the deity, to the Pure Land. If it is ordinary being, it's not going to be possible. And now, if the dead, for example, is a practitioner of Tantra and who has been doing or who has done completion stage yoga, whereby they have the technique of transmuting intermediate existence uh, into into Sambhogakaya of the Buddha by using the subtle energy of the subtle mind as the impetus, and then they may arise as they're in a Bardo state, but as a deity. But then, if their gurus and if their deities see that some untoward is about to happen to these for whatever reason, then the guru and the deities may actually appear to them because they're able to see deities actually and become deities actually. Then help may be possible, or seeming physical help may be possible. For most ordinary people, it's not going to be possible. Had it been possible, then the Buddhas and Avalokiteshvara, Manjushri, Vajrapāyana, and Tara, who are Buddhas, said to have unconditional love for all beings, equipped with all skills, yet unable to do that, they simply cannot do it because the said object oneself has not met the right condition. We have not been able to be in a place where we should have been. So it's not going to. It doesn't happen.
다 되네 미 파마라스는 아니 파메 거베나라 닝잠 잡아다가 아니 되네 남시 겨울래 다두시 겨울래단데 되네 레스로다 지단 미주로단데 데레스다.
So for body being, when they are successful, they get stuck in the ovum and sperm of two parents, and they have been looking for. And the first moment of conception is rebirth, and rebirth has started without being born in the world, and then the rest is history.
지단 먼저 되네 지게버디 되네 고주고라 먼저
Laos.
지단 먼저 로직 먼저 페베 로직 gem버지야 되네 지게버디 켈린시고
So a Tibetan way of and when a Tibetan child is born, they are already 1 year regarded 1 year old, for they already have been in the womb for 9 months, and they were born at the time of conception.
어디 차라 다 되네 당기 뒤어질러 가려라나 다 산제에게 아니 뒤제 전시할 미 넘버 된지 고벨라 슈제 미지고 연구를 했어야지도
No.
어디 미지고 말에 튼두가 넘버 된 저거래 튼두 넘버 된제 연구요래 상상라 수수기 레다가 오이나 근데 지 그와다 튼두가 넘버 된 별로 유인데 망고 열다 미지고라 저와 요 말에 다 배나 다산 당도스랍잖아 디그로 다디 치와웨세디 아니 람징오를 제제야 산제징오를 주스나나 산제징오를 주스나나 아니 산제디 마남바 카르팅 고스나 쿠시르 다디 jelapshene ora tugu스와 tugu스데 ngara서 주바텐제와 주바텐제 아니 주바다 주발라 강바텐 저거를 추텐 저거를 매텐 저거를 리듬 저거를 아니 튼루텐 저거를 미텐 저거를 데 주바를 두구래 예자 다드네 겨두고서죠. 두걸 겨두고서데 다 지단 되는 산제 임바 간실라. 아니 아메 고베나라 파치. 아니 미나시 겨월에 변도 당가서 다데 겨울음지 파고 제레시 두걸 켈리시고라. 지나시 아니 미다 샤죽도 툼바 차단 렌드 chen 아니 간다 된다데 심지기 된시야로 그래 심지 된시야로 심지기 된예지 고고요라 카메가 넘버 되니 용고요를 두구사데 뭐 두스chen 심지기 된시다 두구사데 두스레스로
Yes.
겨두고
So when somebody makes it to Buddhahood successfully through tapping into clear light, understanding emptiness, and transforming it into bodhicitta and so on, and their mind, anyway, they become fully awakened. In other words, they become Buddha. And once they become Buddha, and then they have to come back. They became Buddha in order to come back to samsara to help beings. So to cut it short, let me say, Buddhas have four states of enlightenment, and two physical forms and two spiritual forms, if you like. So the first, Buddhas emanate themselves in any form and in any form, not just humans, not just animate. They even transform themselves into inanimate, like houses, shelter, trees, or as animals, to support people and their own kind, so on. So anyway, that's called tulku nirmanakaya, emanation form of but of all forms of emanation form, the best form is called womb womb emanation form, or womb born emanation form. That means a Buddha takes a human form, and for that they need to be conceived, and they are born, and they have all the facets of human physical body, physiology. Uh, so, for instance, Tibetans consider His Holiness the Dalai Lama as a Buddha of compassion, Avalokiteshvara. He is a human form. So, attaining human form is key to helping sentient beings. Not so much Dhammakaya itself. It's a means to that. Buddhas need to be seen, heard, and they need to be interacted in life. For that, form is important.
다드네 초 두구사데 아니 gelong number che 자바 중니 되니 산제들 초 두구스월다 코데오 셴나로
Loss. Then there's another called Supreme Nirmanakaya. Supreme Nirmanakaya is Buddha from Dhammakaya via Sambhogakaya, then appears as a Buddha in human form, like the historical Buddha.
다드네 다드즈 언즈 수수기고 타마 통도 여러와 다드네 롱구세죠로
Long.
롱구세디 천성무 숨주자니 베제 성부진지 단도 지준 되만 가서 구도즈 롱구 남바로와
Loss.
그저 야 찬신 파괴 미슈지 제도고요 말다
So these emanations of a Buddha can be seen by non-Arya, non-transcendent ordinary beings. And then Buddhas also emanate, Buddhas also exist in a higher physical, enlightened physical state called Longo Sambhogakaya. It has been called enjoyment body. And for example, Tara and so on. So they are in examples of Sambhogakaya, and they cannot be seen by ordinary beings. But the Arya beings or Arya Bodhisattvas have access to uh, resources of Sambhogakaya.
하드네 산제게 주기 심데 이시 주구세로와 다디 산제 남편제 미시다 제도가 말에 될 주구세로라 주구.
So the enlightened omniscient mind is only accessible to Buddhas alone, to other Buddhas. Short of them, nobody can access the mind of the Buddha. And the omniscient mind is, enlightened omniscient mind is Dhammakaya.
다드네 ngo니고들라 니여와 다다과 니고들라 ngo니고들라 산제 싱부딩게 동반이 대당 아니 녀모마다 시제 디바다 테베 테바 꼭데 디니니데 다 ngo니고레스.
So the fourth state of enlightenment of the Buddhas is the deepest sort of a source of Dhammakaya and so on, and they are called Ngonyiko, natural truth body, or Savavakaya. There are two forms. There are two forms of Savavakaya. The first is emptiness of inherent existence of omniscient mind itself is natural truth body, or Savavakaya. And the state of permanent cessation experience possessed by Dhammakaya. Okay, I'll say the state of cessation, permanent cessation, being free from all negative karma, delusions, and predisposition to that cessation is called
네. 루베남다 차주 꼭데.
no, so it is called Lobun Namdage Chaukiba Koktin, which means true cessation, part of.
루베남다게 드마단테 테발라.
No, I'm sorry. It is called true cessation of the Buddha, which is free from all adventitious defilements. Krishna, however I feel, Krishna, how is a Buddhist funeral service conducted for a lay person? Me pepper is shivering over, they let that you, that consider Metaya Tang Tijoro, they can teach you.
Ready than the dear on Jawanche, Jawan,
No,
Jawanche, Jawanche, meet Shivula Jawanche, Jawanche did that, Chogostone.
no,
Chogostone in Koranga par yora, exam party out of no mind remote gore. Pardisha and de la Korange, Namji Tsuku,
no,
and Delaya. Choget signature and a color to switch and Samas and Tajaran Jawalinga juice, Tanya, and the Chogos here.
loss. So there is a special ceremony called Jawang, and I can't find the English word for that. I'm going to say send off for ceremony, sending off ceremony. I'm not going to say farewell because you laugh. So what happens is first you have a photo of that of the deceased, and then you do some perform some puja, make some offering, and give them oblation, make them clean, and through oblation, and then through recitation, and then they are first they have a picture, and they summon the consciousness of the dead onto the picture, and then oblation, offering of items of food, clothing, and so on are imagined given to that, and through a prayer, and Then they ask, now it's time to go and take next rebirth. So there are some rights like that.
아니 단다 디지가 열어 디티버지 열어 디버스나 베나 미마 시차니 동리지도 와서로 아니 단다 조단시나 동리지에민도 하다고 디체 파도네 겨워도 마도샤고도 하고 그 동리리아 용민도 디 가르스다 디버리 되고.
So there's a question according to the description that we have received. It seems that somebody dies, goes through the 8 stages of dissolution, gets in the body being, body state, and then stayed on to the next rebirth. But what about the question of ghosts? No, and some ghosts, they have been ghosts of people who have been dead for some time, but they come back.
디 티와디 좀 된데 yapsejewe 돌아져래. 좀 된데 상제산에 좀 된데 yap당 좀 된데 제로와. 좀 된데 겨왕아지 왜 두지당 단데 겨울랜당 디게디 yap라 송도와.
단데 yap셰슈베 그러면.
예, yap당 제로와. 좀 된데 yap라 최송으로다.
그래서
최송이 겨왕아지 두두스도도 네 마겨울랜 두두스도 아니 야고 된데 이나니 저랑 셰단체나 단단하시나 그 두스 파샤자 로샤도 와서. 미카시에 건도 야 동래를 지는 통구도 와서. 어디 가레스 야기 좀 된데라 저티래.
So this information comes from a sutra called Meeting of Father and Son, or Pita Putra Paripucha Sutra is called, where Buddha, after getting enlightened, goes to see his father and then tells his father, the king, after you have lived your life, I see people going through a death process, and then Buddha may have described that the processes and getting in the body being and finding rebirth. Then the father asks, according to your description, it seems to be quite straight, but what about people who are dead? They'll come back as ghosts.
좀 되데 미디 말했어. 야 돈인데 고스티 그런 간주 뒤에 간주라 저의 얘기 근데 요레스 근데 미만이 근데 요레스.
네.
콘주게다 게제셰다 돈 콘주를 주도와. 콘주게 간주 kum시다 가르메 차단하고 거레스. 다 친자회인자 네 넘버 땡제다 콘주 칼라라야 제도 아니 넘버 땡제 미만이 근데 그 넘버 땡제 두스 용되게 요레스. 두스 렌드 잡도다.
So then Buddha said, it's not so much that the disease actually has come back. It's just that some spirits, some beings in the spirit world who normally know and watch you, as it were, your mannerism, speech mannerism, movement mannerism, and so on. And when you have left your consciousness, they get in to get food, to get food, and therefore you think they have come back, but they are not. They are the spirits that has entered the body of the dead.
디단다 지즈멜라게 남다나라 여러 지즈멜라게 이니 단다도 스남시로다는 셰브라
나래
제도에 단다 별로다 편보여라
나래
동데 미 동데 슈니다 지즈멜라데 동데데 미디 마레스라 미지시다 미디 동데 동데데 미코베나라지 전데 편보게데 동야 여러 편보데 미코베나 동데로 죽여야데 여러 건서 초가데 여러 편보 디중니시도 그 nga 미디 인스케시고라 다 미장마 디 코란 이라고도 와서디 지점에 말레스 다운은 미디 가와요레스라 디 된다 좀 되데 숨문나지 디 미만이 동네인데 그 넘버 되는 연구요레스 아니 미진다데 다운은 간저 바원원에데 가와요레스 따로 미장 바원원에 저런 거네 바원원에 돈이 들어오데 그래서 아니 리간을 별 리간을 컴바접접자 아니 야게 좋아 첨부지서로 야게 좋아
long.
안 지준 밀어 커주고 야게 좋아데 야지 강어데 안 데올라 부마 싱싱데 야도
Not
인데직도
long.
아니 디 바바 시사보다가 니마단 트레도 코시도 시네 남시드 남라드네 아니 그 지주면라다 잡시 저랑 잡송 시제 다즈레도 마
Long.
또 바옹네디 부ጆ렌데레 당기페 남베데니디 동레 어디 펠라디 지주면라 남다나라 요리 그런즈로다디
So, if you read the story of Milarepa, this account is clearly given by Milarepa because in Tibet, the indigenous religion was a Bon religion. They have shamanistic ritual, and they convinced the lay common people they would make effigies from dough of the dead person, and then they say, now we are going to summon your dead uncle or whatever and into this, and then uh, the effigy begins to move and begins to speak like the dead, or like the dead uncle, the uncle who was alive before, and people began to believe. And the Bon practitioner said, "See, we can make the dead come alive." Milarepa said, "That's not the case." He stuck to the story of the Buddha, and he said, "That is the spirit of the spirit world entering the effigy and then doing the thing that you want them to do." And then Milarepa was, in that case, where is our dead our father who was dead? If the effigy dancing is not the return of our father, where is our father? I said, he asked, "Do you really want to know?" Yes, they said, "Come with me." And he took them up on the mountain, and he uncovered a yak dung, put it upside down. There was a red earthworm. And as soon as the red earthworm was exposed to the sunlight, not long after it died, and then its consciousness went up, and from the space, a human voice said, "Thank you for saving me, Milarepa." And that, Milarepa said, was your father. It's getting dark.
Hula dinda mangwa yorwa zan dana namjesi zan dana lamas kira chimbo shurwa ane pe loma pe tongda chita yorwa ane di yangsi ta lama yangsi gogo yorwa ane yangsi gogo yesi ane lama jindi puguchik ta di kiranzi lama yangsi re la da konzo yangsi ngone di gogo ting yangsi ngone ma res la da ting ngone yangsi ngone di rewes di ting ngone ma res ta konzo yangsi ngone di gogo yesi rwa ta ngone yangsi gogo 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 resi ane yamro yumzo nana tido kiranzi dana lama yangsi ngone di gogo na yamro yumzo nana dos ten yamro yumzo nana 추싱 첨부 쉬어지러 추싱 첨부 쉬어지 아니 수부가라 베데 근데 지 세기 견자다 된대고 섭다 연주지 근데 또 다나라메 양시 추싱 게됐다 예 디가레스나 미 부바 망고 그데 데랑고면라 야고마 제비지 나메 유샤도 디글레 나미코 수부데라베 근데 줄리다 된대기 셰브제지 베데 된데스 데데 아니 라마디다 저랑 겨왕하면 미기 부어프리션 저데 방면론주 제들 면라 맞아도 튕기도 가서 되네 주신디 미주 당도 그 텐. 딘데 루기 망고 열다.
So let me share another story that pertains to finding the reincarnation of a great Llama called Tana Lama in Western Tibet. And he had been dead, and people were looking for his reincarnation. And then they thought they had a boy who was there, Llama come back as a human. They took the boy to another Llama and asked the Llama to certify whether this is the boy Llama come back. The Llama said, "No, that's not your Llama." And they insisted that he is our Llama. But the Llama said, "Do you really want to know where your Llama is? So go to Yamto Lake." And they went to Yamto Lake. And then uh, in the Yamto Lake, the Lama and the party went to Yamto Yutso, Yamto Turquoise Lake. And there in the lake is your Lama in the form of sea monster, like a crocodile, with the body covered with scales of crocodile that look like jewelry, like human jewelry, all about the body. And then, how is it possible that it is as a Lama? And the Lama, how could that be the Dalai Lama, our guru? And this Lama said, your guru received a lot of offerings from people, jewelry, gold, ornaments, and he just took them for granted and didn't make any prayers to help for to help the living, to help the deceased, whose jewelry and so on offered to him, and therefore that is the karma of kind of exploiting, spiritually exploiting the laity, the lay people community. So, and then Dalai Lama, so this guru said to the sea monster, do you remember receiving offerings and remember not making any prayers? And the sea monster, the crocodile, shed some tears, but not crocodile tears.
Dalai Lama's tear.
Dalai Lama tear.
근데 별로인데 로주 근데 다도 정원에 정교하다 봐. 뭐 내지 중이다. 근데 하고도 전화서 또 좀 된데 그 레기 거기 도저 로다 랜데기 거도 된데 쉬워요. 된다. 계랍단 주전하러 와. 계랍도 주나다. 주저도 계주다 봐 준저 얘기 말아. 어딘데다 단다 간다. 당도 세우차서 제월리네 동대도서 다 이지체 야마레 수승원에 미디야 제버데 다 신다지게 스피리추얼 신다지 디나는 주대어데 디다 모이네 좀 된데게 숨버레 멜라라와게 냠뇨거네 숨버레 다 데저 딜을하고다 가르고래와
So I I tried to make this clear so that we know that human coming back as the dead coming as a relative is not real relative according to Buddha and the Milarepa's own experience and his own Milarepa being the highest yogi. They know paranormal issues far better than others. So so you can draw some conclusions for yourself.
예, 다 배진 저 두스레 다 당다 안저게 다 통다 다다로 디송하다 차다로 삼다 스스그 다디 레와산스네 지 다디 두스네 지에 다 디송아.
So I hope I have managed to convince you that you should hope for the best and prepare for the worst. Now you have some tools.
다 되셔.
Okay, stop here.
Shalava Polo Damba No Balanje Janda Menye Ledava Rembo Jere Wo Bazani Shinde Mame Pelo Do Gala Rembo Chen Jamo Rembo Chen Jamo Rembo Amo Rembo Chen Emo Rembo Chen Jojo Rembo Chen Ye ma dewa ma lu ma ka ma me do ma do ga nan ze ma de ja ma ni ma do wa ren bo chen do cho le nam ba je wen jen e zo la da be ye ben yo be son so wa ma san wa me ba san shi do wa de ta tin je za wa dan
Yuba Jeba Pande Lama Tamba Namba Keva Deya Ngamgo Tewe Shingi Jesus Omo Juwe Yundo Shingan Bua Ju Odewe Tendo Sheso Shine Ganda So Jowa Nunge
Senje tanje la tu tsewa chenbe chenje la do so ye jo ye me do ta re ra le she ye de gen ba de san je she do me de ai 조근한다 신라 제와슈 아메구제라데 제나가틸레 조주예마다 유사데베 유니사소지 오에뮤센 유도네요지 아가라라네 멘델라 가네야다야미 요디 뉴드나 라만다냐 데제 도제 야마네 어디 자고 저저저 마제마나 요요요 고네 고네 요요나 요나 제대로 해서 요제나 요저 단제도 위주로 아래라고 생각에 변한데 오면은 저래 제대로 되게서 집에서 되는 찬도나 취시하고 제대로 그래서 얘기하지는 아니지만 단제도 이제 뭐 다른 시기도 전에 사진을 내려줘라고 대마여라고 저지 주요성 주도는 거나 그게 정말로 되는 상황이죠. 다다지는 전에 사진을 겨울 산다고 대마여는 보여지 그런 신호대 내가 내가 말해줘야 돼. 저래서 되게서 이제 시대 받을 때지.
Sacred is this never-ending teaching and transmigrate three things. It makes extremely clear the path that is the invitation of emptiness and compassion. To the lotus holder cleansing that so I beseech. May all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. You who unfold the spiritual moral way, who serve as the bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving, and spreading Manjana's victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplish magnificent prayers honoring the three jewels, Saviour of myself and others, your disciples, please, please live long. By relying on the two accumulations of myself and others in the three times, may the teachings of the conqueror Reincarnation blaze for a long time.
Oh, that especially thing you love song. You come to here from Donington here. You did lots effort. I will appreciate, and most people I think students appreciate. Because I'm very competent talking, you know what I want to say, and Lausanne knows, and then you got message, and we have lots chatting, isn't it? And also the organizers, good, very good, everything. Supporters, I very appreciate and thank you so much, and also come from Wellington, Christchurch, and Gordon Bay, and some listening online people. And we have this opportunity, and you're coming here and see again. Good see you again. And next see you more again. more learning and useful our life. And I very appreciate this because you know I've been here and some benefit for you a little bit, and this makes me more my life stay here more meaningful, you know, because you are we have connection and you have trust me, and there's the reason you have some benefit, and this dharma connection is not easy, and this time we did make more stronger connection, and maybe next level more stronger, maybe, and one time and we live one pure land together without negative. we stay dealing with the negative, you know, and one day slowly, and then one day go to pure land, then we all rejoice, no problem, you know. Last year in Holiness Dalai Lama mentioned talking, if this one's what Jaurimche Tanda Mala Dewa Yuati Mahumba Jaurimchi Shingam Ligres, the Nayandwa Gishido Lamaro to the Chikuranzo Church Labdik Yoros, Dewa Chuk Dewa Chade Yoros, and the Dewa Chani to the Yancharanzo Sanjes Nana, Yancharanzo Giduk to the Yancharanzo Shingamla, Dures Kundugi. And Tanya did the sales songs are they dembarwa that there was in the China and those door at Daco.
Kundun de Dow, you're going to culture, sir.
Kundun doing it, Kundu Shingamla Ligres.
No,
The Charanzo Penangandro and the Chula Tanya to the Charanzo doing me, the Charanzo Sanje Shingam Tilla,
no.
de Grace,
No.
the Sunza.
So I remember quite clearly one time His Holiness was giving very comforting speech to the gathering, and spiritual connection goes a long way, and you are all connected to me, I to you, and therefore there's no doubt through this profound connection you will be where I am in my enlightened state. Wherever I'm going to be, I'm sure we will meet you there in the enlightened states, in the enlightened state. And then he also said the connections that you form with your resident or your daily guru, and there again the same process will work, and people having connection with certain gurus will again meet the guru as Buddha, and them as fortunate recipients of Dharma, or in a higher highly realized state, and you will meet them in the same way as I know I will meet you in my enlightened Pure Land. So he gave them such positive, uplifting speech to the people.
Takshing Laya de Kawayo Lavina, Kawa Maingi, Sanje Salamain, Parudi Langasujasores.
So, if you ask me, where is Pure Land? Oh, where is Pure Land? Pure Land is neither in the samsara nor in Buddha land, in Buddha world. Somewhere, a midway, where it's really a comfortable resting place.
Koala, Yodache, Kalekadi Tedo, yesterday, Llama.
So when you are tired of samsara, you go to the Pure Land, recharge yourself, and come back down.
Okay, now we sit over here.
Usually can section this weekend, but I'm sure